I have a problem, several, but one in particular that I want to talk about today. I start things with a lot of energy, like an embarrassing amount of energy, and then I have this full picture in my head and I think about it and I know how great it's gonna be, how good it's gonna look, and then I start doing it and it gets hard and I get lazy because it's not going as fast as I think it's gonna go. It's not super, I don't know, the progress is not like, I'm not in the finish line basically. And that's when I hit the wall and I stop. And then I come back to it. But when I come back to it, it's in a rush. It's like frenetic. It's like, oh, I have to finish this, because actually the thing that I said I was gonna do, it's for a class or it's for showing my peers or whatever. And that is my whole entire life with my creative projects. So this channel, this video, it's kind of like me trying to break the cycle. Let's see how it goes. But it's like breaking the cycle, like out loud in my second language on the internet. No pressure. So this is what actually happens in my brain. The idea comes to me and I just, like I said, it's very clear, it's very fluid, it's exciting, and my mind is already thinking in the finished version, like I'm already at the finish line when I'm thinking about this idea. And then the struggle starts when I start doing it, and the actual physical work, like being present, doing what I have to do, it's not what I think it is, and it's slow, it's uncomfortable, and the gap between what I see in my head and what's actually happening, it's what's most painful, I would say. So I stop, and I feel like here's the part that nobody really talks about, and it's the fact that the moment that I stop, the project, it's not just like in pause, it starts feeling super heavy and it's dense, and it's, for me, I don't know, it's kind of like, I've always thought that it has this very specific color, like that feeling of everything is so heavy right now, and for me that color is like wine red, and it's like very specific dark red. And I know it sounds weird, but honestly, that's how it feels in my head, how that works, I guess. So what do I do when things start to feel heavy and I put myself this gigantic goal? I make it even worse. So for context, I'm doing my master's degree and I started doing it in ceramics. It's a master's degree in art, so we are able to develop thesis that has multiple art pieces. I have been doing ceramics for a really long time, so I figured, that's the material I'm gonna use. Think again, because this year, at the beginning of the year, I started to question that material, and I thought, I think it would be really cool if I do cross stitch, because I did cross stitch when I was really young. My thesis is about my memories, my grief, sort of like the life that I used to have when my dad was alive. So thinking in retrospective, felt like the material was also very adequate for that, like it was right for talking about that topic. But then I was like, oh, how can I make this even harder? Let's do a freaking big ass tapestry in cross stitch. What could go wrong? A lot of things can go wrong. And I'm serious, like I took a couple of illustration classes, but for the most part I used this sketch on Canva that I really liked, and then I decided to turn it into this cross stitch tapestry. But it's kind of like the pieces of work that it's, if I put it in my wall, it's gonna be half of my bedroom type of thing. Because if I do something small, then I'm gonna put it in a box and then I'm gonna forget about it. But if I put it somewhere that it actually has a lot of physical space and it takes up a lot of space, then I can't ignore it. Like I just have to finish it. And that's kind of like one of the first tricks that I put my mind into, like make it impossible to forget. But even when the tapestries, they're occupying space in my life and in my bedroom, in my living room, in the dining room, even with that, like I stopped, and then when I went back to it, it's usually what happens when I go back to a project, that it's rushed, it's frenetic, I'm super stressed and I have to finish it now, like I don't have time, and I don't come back to it as, oh, I want to finish this, I want to see how it looks. And I think like rushing it's what's killing the enjoyment of it. And the process also feels like it sucks. It feels forced. And I end up stopping again, which is basically where I'm at right now. So yeah, it actually, all of this made me think of something that I did last year, because last year at the beginning of 2025, I read Atomic Habits by James Clear, and I was trying to change my habits. Spoiler, I failed. But it made me think of, like, sometimes when I rely on others to help me achieve my goals, I feel like I am a lot better at it. And the reason why I mention this is because I'm not weaving just by myself. Like, my mom is helping me, my aunts are helping me. Also because this project talks a lot about like family structures and how they change after you've experienced tremendous grief, and how it continues to change and sort of destabilizes your family structure, like death. Anyway, so going back to James Clear, I thought of this idea of like the social contract, and the concept is very straightforward. Basically, you agree with someone that you are changing your any habit, and then that person helps you stay accountable for what you said you were going to do. So it kind of feels like you're making a commitment to somebody else, not just yourself, because I feel like I'm very good at like promising something to myself and then not doing it, basically. So when the other person knows, it kind of like raises the stakes a little bit, and you can put like little, I don't want to call it punishments, but like, I don't know, like counter actions. So if you don't do it, then I don't know, you pay someone X amount of money, or you have to do something else, or whatever. So that's sort of what I wanted to do, and I decided to do it with two things again, because I did it last year with waking up early, and then in the middle of the year I was like, I cannot do this anymore, and then I decided, okay, I want to go back to it because I feel like it did help me. So I'm doing it with my co-workers who are also my friends, and we signed like a literal contract. Like I drafted it, redacted it, and then we signed it. So number one is waking up early, waking up at 6, because I feel like if I take advantage of the morning, so number one is waking up early, waking up at 6, because I feel like if I take advantage of the morning, then after I work, you know, after I go to work and all of that, then it's a little bit, you know, I can go to work thinking, oh, I already did something for myself. And the other one is the reason why this video exists, which is posting on YouTube every single week. And I just feel like the more that I rely on people at the beginning to change something, then my wish is that that's gonna turn itself into a habit, and then I'm just gonna do it out of default, basically. I mean, that's the hope. I can only hope for this to happen. And also, one of the things that I wanted to address is like, why is it in English? That's a very good question. It was probably the thing that I was overthinking the most. And the reason for it, it's because English is my second language. I've been studying English since I was very young. I really like it. It has come to a point where I think I find myself thinking in English very often. I kind of use Spanglish in my daily life, but English also allows me to have some sort of distance between the person who's talking to the camera and the person who's like thinking the scripts, editing. So it makes me a little bit more kind to myself, like not so, I mean, I cringe, but it's a different type of cringe. And also, you know, having to think a little bit slower because it's still my second language, it kind of reinforces the idea of being present in the process, which is what I think I'm learning with the tapestries. Is you have to be present in the middle of the process, otherwise it's not going to be worth it. Like, being ambitious is nice and it's actually good, but then you have to stick through the middle to get to that finish line. You can't skip it, because if you skip it, I feel like you're gonna lose a lot of things. So this is what this first video is about. I hope I can do it. Let's see if I can actually do it. And if you're watching this, thank you genuinely from the bottom of my heart. I'm super embarrassed. I had a lot of excitement about doing this, but I'm also terrified of how it's gonna go and the fact that it's in English, but whatever. I'm just gonna do it in a more, I don't know. I'm just gonna go into like airplane mode in my head and just go with it every single week. This one is more like a sit down video, but I think I'm gonna try to record a little bit more during the week and then post it. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. We'll see how this changes. Ciao.